I want to start this video off with a question. What is the purpose of a video game soundtrack? What comes to mind when I say that phrase? What does it invoke? What sounds are brought to your mind? For myself and many others, it can definitely invoke memories of games long past and the music that comes with them. Halo, Kingdom Hearts, Call of Duty, Sly Cooper, Mario. These are just a few examples in all different games and what they set out to achieve from the get-go, but all games that are tied together by wonderful melodies and amazing sound production. Some levels invoke a certain feeling of happiness, sadness, despair, anger, or a feeling you can't quite put your finger on. However, for yours truly, none come quite as close as one franchise in particular. One that is amazing and that I will always associate with being an underrated exemplar of how to not only enhance your series, but to some degree define a feeling that has never been really captured and spans distances that no other franchise has quite been able to since its inception. The music of this franchise has the sole purpose of taking you on a ride that takes you to the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, all while bringing you on a ride that you may never forget. Hi everyone, my name's Winter, and this is my love letter to the Sonic franchise's music, the Melodies of Adventure. The Sonic franchise is no stranger to what can be objectively considered fantastic soundtracks. There is something to be considered when a franchise has music that has been considered one of the primary saving graces of a franchise that has had its fair shares of ups and downs. We won't lie. Now, I want to make it very clear about what music I'm talking about when I'm referring to the perfect fit. Because I'm not just referring to the vocal tracks when I talk about the music. The legendary status of Crush 40, Tomoya Tani, and now Kellen Quinn as a Frontiers is not to be understated. And in listening to the music, especially in tandem with the games they are associated with, oh, you can easily see why this music absolutely deserves to kick ass. But see, that's only part of the story. See, the instrumental music of this franchise holds something that the vocal tracks accomplish in the moment, but cannot, by virtue of them being theme songs, do over the span of the entire game. The soundtracks, they create atmosphere, and each game has music that fits perfectly to develop that atmosphere. Now, I've been a Sonic fan since Sonic Adventure 1, and also as a former musician, I understand a little bit of basic music theory, but I won't pretend to understand the franchise's musicality from a professional standpoint as others would. I have friends that are much better at that than I. However, I'm good enough to understand one concept that has always stuck with me for as long as I've been a music enthusiast and a musician. Tone. Whether it's setting the tone of exploring the mystic ruins, maybe searching the dry lagoon as Rouge,
Only two more.
traversing the high-speed waterways of Splash Canyon,
Ride that turtle.
or walking around the serene and calm Apotos hub world. Each game has the ability to convey and set a feeling of what you are doing and what that game sets out to give the player. It means even more to me, especially as a black man, given how for a good portion of the series, Sonic's music and overall vibe, as you could probably call it, was influenced by black artists, musicians, and creators. A YouTuber by the name of Malcolm X Knox released a wonderful video on the influences and full background of black folks in the franchise. I would highly suggest you go check his video out, it's great. But refocusing on the music, it's important to realize that it's custom fit to show what each game brings to Sonic's character, as he is something that changes, not necessarily internally, but in relation to what the game requires of him, or what the characters or focus of that game require of him. Fit is not something that might not be inherently thought of when it comes to the franchise's music, but by God does it nail it every time. And for longtime fans of the franchise, it's a source of trust and comfort that really kind of can't be broken. What comes to mind when one thinks of the term adventure, per se? Is it the feeling of exploring some new place, the unknown that you might face, the rewards at the end of your journey? I would say these are all part of it without a shadow of a doubt, but what comes to mind, especially in a video game, is two things as defining factors in many portions of media. What you hear, especially outside of the content, and what it makes you visualize, what it makes you see. I believe that Sonic does this very well in particular, and as previously mentioned, has always done an excellent job at doing this. Let's take an example. Jungle Joyride from Sonic Unleashed, probably one of my favorite tracks in the entire franchise. What comes to mind when you hear this? So if you guess darker, more intense, and more oriented towards combat and getting through a level that is more hardened, or any of combination of those, then you'd be correct. Sonic is a franchise that understands that the player is going on a trip of sorts. Whether the game is based around levels or an open world, there's a feeling that setting a recurring theme is important to the game's identity. Starlight Zone, Emerald Coast, Kronos Island, Kingdom Valley, Planet Wisp, Water Palace, every one of these levels. Every one of them brings their own feelings and vibes to the franchise and set the stage for not only what you are about to play, but what you're about to feel as you speed through the level or as you tech your way to the end, depending on what game you're playing. And of course, the vocal tracks manage to tie everything together in each game, its overall kind of ultimatum, the idea of its final message, as it were. A message to understand by the end that you're doing something more, that you're defying oppression, believing in yourself, telling yourself that no matter how bad things get, it's gonna be all right. All of that means something to the people playing these games, young and old, veterans and new alike. All of these songs stand on their own regardless of the levels and games that they are played in, and define a different aspect of completing that quote-unquote adventure. Sonic isn't unique among franchises for having music that defines a sense of adventure, but I would argue that it's definitely one of the best exemplars of this concept. Speaking of which, so this last part is going to be me being a grade A fanboy over my favorite soundtracks, I'm not gonna lie. Real talk, I genuinely love the music with all of my heart, and it brings the fan base together every time, regardless of the game that it's associated with. The classics of the franchise are in the Hall of Fame for a reason. Let's be very honest, and I'll give you an example. I went to the Sonic Symphony with my younger brother at the beginning of the year, and there was nothing like hearing the music you and hundreds of other people grew up with or just love honored and given credence in a way that made the whole experience of not only playing with the game but sticking with the franchise kind of worth it. It reinforced a large part of why we are seeing the resurgence of the series the way we are. Why we are seeing a successful year based around one entire character from the franchise, a blockbuster film, multiple successful games within the past few years, and most importantly to this video, again, a successful live symphony that sold out in almost every location it was at. We went in Atlanta to see the show earlier this year, and it was amazing to see the level of support and amount of fun everyone was having as we all sing along, cosplayed, watched what essentially amounted to multiple anime music videos set to our favorite music, and all just kind of came together for one night. You know, no opinions, no game reviews, no skill check. It was just us and the music. Some people knew every song. Some people knew one. Some were young. Some were older than me. It didn't matter. We were all there literally, quite literally, for the love of the game. We were all there because there was something to be said about, despite all the ups and many downs the series has experienced, we could still find community and comfort in something we knew was irrefutable about the series. That sense of cool that you don't necessarily have to watch when you play the games, but that you can hear and feel. That's something that no one can take away from this franchise. That's what makes him way past cool. That's what makes Sonic, well, Sonic.
Welcome to the mind of a different kind. We've been growing so late. Think I'm on 11, but I'm on a 9. Guess you don't really know me. Running from the past is a losing game. It never brings you glory. Been down this road before. Already know the story.
So I finally got the opportunity to make and start making the content that I've been wanting to for quite some time. Basically, truly getting to express my love for both this series, what it means to the people in this community as well, and kind of what it's been doing for my content as well. This is the happiest I've been making content because I can finally share this passion of mine that I've had for a long time on stream, on YouTube, on Twitter, with my friends. The series is seeing a resurgence, but it's so nice to see it finally live up to the potential that I think fans of the franchise have always known it's had. And I felt like I needed to contribute to that, and I feel like I still want to contribute to that. So I'll be making more content. I know I'm usually known for my FPS things over on here and on Twitch with things like Apex, Ghost Recon, and Siege, but now I'm going to be doing a lot more Sonic content. I'm planning on playing through many of the games, trying a lot of the fan games, been learning and relearning art, teaching myself art, as well as, getting tutorials and helps from my community. I'm playing Sonic Frontiers for the first time, on Twitch right now, and it's going to be a ton of fun when I finish it. I'm so excited to be able to share that experience with my community, so make sure you check us out there and going forward as well. So if you find me because of this video, I appreciate it. If you've been around from the beginning, thanks for sticking with me, as we seek to have fun here. That's the biggest thing. If the content creates fun, then we'll have fun at the end of the day. And I think that's all we really want. So hope you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave feedback. Always helps me in creating better content. It's helped me thus far, and I want it to help me in this new kind of long form content or even short form content around this topic that I really love. So without further ado, y'all take care, have a wonderful time, and peace out.